Welcome to the second annual Shore Publishing Beacon Awards ceremony. The idea of the Beacon Awards is simple. We asked everyone in our community to nominate someone who had made a difference in their lives. We received an enormous response about dedicated volunteers in our area, and from the many nominations, we chose 15 humanitarians who best represent the volunteer spirit of the community. Let's meet our 2014 Beacon Award winners. Linda Beavers, Clinton.
I belong to the Rotary Club of Clinton. Rotary is probably my big umbrella organization that I volunteer for. I also belong to the Lutheran Church of Madison, which I do a lot of mission work there to different aspects of the church. And within the town of Clinton, I have gotten involved in what they call the Pretty Committee. We try to beautify the town. We pick weeds, we prune bushes in the spring, we clean litter. Litter is a big thing.
Kim Beckett, Guilford.
There are three organizations or three emphases on my volunteer time. One is with special education advocacy here in the town of Guilford. The second is through Special Olympics Unified Sports. I have an intellectually disabled child who is an athlete with the school-based program, and we spend a lot of time working with his team. And the third organization where I spend a great deal of time is through the Guilford Day Community Coalition, which stands for Developmental Assets for Youth, and its partnership with the national nonprofit organization Positive Coaching Alliance.
Taffy Bowes, Madison.
I work for Madison Youth and Family Services, and our goal, our reason for being, is to provide services and programs and resources for youth and their families in the community. We also have a social services component of what we do, which provides all kinds of financial help and other help for folks. But most of what I have done over the time that I've been here, in fact, all of what I've done over the time I've been here, is work with high school kids and with middle school kids.
Fred Brook, Old Lyme.
I am the co-founder and president of something called Angel Charitable Trust, which is an organization that looks to help children with serious illnesses. In 2002, I swam across Long Island Sound for a young girl, Angel Uline, who had contracted leukemia at age 11. We managed to support her and her family through some of the more difficult times, and as a result of that, I decided to continue to swim for other children up the coast of New England.
Brenda Eldridge, Branford.
I volunteer for the Branford Compassion Club, which is a feline adoption and rescue center. And I also am a cook at the community dining room in Branford. I needed something to fulfill my life, and I have a very supportive family, and they too understand how I feel about volunteering. So I am very lucky.
Christine Klarman, Branford.
The majority of the volunteering I do is after work on weekends. In the case of the community dining room, I've been cooking for the first Saturday since they started on Saturdays back in 1987. It was something that I really wanted to get involved with because I thought it was a great thing, you know, feeding people. The Orchard House I do one or two times a month. And then out at the nursing home where I volunteer, I coordinate with one of the evening nurses. I've volunteered everywhere for quite a while.
Tracy Landino, East Haven.
I participate with the American Cancer Society Relay for Life. as well as St. Clair Church in East Haven. I cook for the homeless. I teach catechism. I do it out of the goodness of my heart, and it makes me feel good to give back. In the past 12 years that I've been fundraising for the Cancer Society, we've raised over $50,000. At one point, everybody's lives is affected by cancer, whether they have cancer or they know someone who does have cancer. And this is the reason why I fight.
EUNICE, LASALA, BRANFORD.
I first became involved with volunteer work when I was in the junior league back in the early 70s. And I did a lot of volunteer work in New Haven with Peabody Museum, the New Haven Historical Society. And then I had children, and so I focused on my town of Branford. I got involved in PTAs, and from there it just spread to a lot of other organizations, which I love. My mother inspired me probably more than anyone else because she was just completely immersed in the community and the church down south. And when I joined the junior league, I got very involved with the community up here.
Susan McDevitt, Madison.
I have a couple of things actually that I'm really very, very passionate about. One of them being an organization, really, I guess if you could call it, that my family and I started. These guys have affectionately named us the Pizza People, but we bring to the homeless and people in need, and particularly in New Haven, we bring pizza and drinks, clothes, toiletries, all kinds of necessities on a monthly basis. I'm also so far a cancer survivor. I have what's called Lynch syndrome, and I've been battling that for about 3 years. And I raise awareness about Lynch syndrome and hereditary cancers, to be specific. As far as what I do for hereditary cancer awareness, it's a whole field that's relatively new. Contact me if you have questions, because I could just go on and on about it, honestly.
Peter Palumbo, Guilford.
This organization that I volunteer for is called DAY, Developmental Assets for Youth. It's a drug and alcohol prevention program with Guilford Youth and Family Services. One particular program that we do, we just came up with this name of Build a Bike, Better a Life. And a good friend of mine, Tom Gerard, was asking me if I had an idea how we can get into Guilford school system and kind of build a little pilot program about bicycles, bicycle maintenance, and then the end result would be able to give that bicycle away to someone in need.
James Puska, Killingworth.
I've been volunteering for the Connecticut Hospice here in Branford, and I also volunteer for the Cove Center for Grieving Children. We have offices all around Connecticut that we service and help grieving families and children. Over here at Connecticut Hospice, my role here is to facilitate a support group for grieving widows and widowers.
Dan Riccio, North Haven.
I'm presently the commander of the American Legion Post 76 here in North Haven for 12 years. I'm also the service officer for the district to help veterans get benefits. I'm also the rental hall agent, the color guard captain, and a few other things stuck in between. I volunteer for the Fisher House, which we've raised money for the past 2 years. I'm still on that committee, and we hope to have groundbreaking in April of this year. We do food drives, coat drives for veterans. The Wounded Warrior Project we just did at the high school under one of the teachers. We raised over $3,000. We're going to have another one this November 17th at the high school, and we hope to raise over $5,000 to $6,000.
Lynn Reardon, North Branford.
I volunteer and actually created Matt's Mission Fund in North Branford. My son Matthew is the one actually who inspired me to volunteer. My son died in a car accident in 2009, and yes, I would say that severely impacted my life. It was a month after Matthew died, we had a walk in his memory. We walked 18 laps or walked around the track here, and the reason was we wanted to raise funds so we could give scholarships away to 2 children in his graduating class.
Anthony Sagnella, North Branford.
I'm the head football coach at North Haven High School, and at North Haven High School our football program has gotten involved in a charity fundraising event each spring where our seniors on the team will select a local charity and try to raise awareness of that charity. And doing so, it will be culminated by playing a inter-squad game where we charge admissions to the game, and all of the money that is raised goes to that particular charity. So being the head coach of the team, I'm kind of the center of the organization.
Leslie Strauss, Chester.
I would have to say most of the volunteering I do is for Chester organizations. Well, specifically as a Chester merchant, I'm very involved with the Merchants Group, which is loosely knit. If you show up, you're a member. And I guess most importantly is I've been chairing the Winter Carnival for the last couple years. And that's our major event. And now I'm chairman of the Nine-Town Transit, which is those nice green and blue buses going up and down the shoreline and up to Middletown. That's a 9-town district, a representative from each of the towns in the area. And we had over 100,000 riders last year.
We've heard what our winners do for the community. Let's hear what that service does for them.
This kind of work and helping people and seeing what it does to other people and families, so you find a spot for it.
I see the tears of gratitude and thanksgiving, and they come back, and that means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to her.
There's been such an incredible richness in all this for me.
Wherever you go, the benefits are just possible for everybody.
Taking a moment to step back, look at the situation you're volunteering for, and knowing that what's coming out of your heart is all you need to be concerned with.
I'll tell you what, the word humility, I think is the focal point to this and the centerpiece for our locker room now. It's changed the way the kids view themselves and they view each other.
It's a win-win situation, really, volunteering.
Well, the most surprising thing I've learned is that it's hard to stop giving. Once you start, you want to go in many different directions.
I'd like to thank the Beacon Committee for nominating me as the recipient of this year's award from the town of North Haven. I'm very proud to be a recipient. I'm very humble for this award, and I really appreciate all that you've done and continue to do to recognize people in their community that do good things.
I would like to thank everyone here at Connecticut Hospice for always being here and doing what they do.
I'd like to thank all the letters that were written for me and everyone that supported this award. I'm quite honored.
I'd like to thank everyone on Guilford Day who is supporting me in this endeavor. I'd like to thank the staff and of the Courier, and I'd like to thank those who are at the Beacon Awards, to all the recipients and how they have made a difference in the world, because it's the volunteers who really can bring on some real positive effect to their communities.